All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Katanagatari, episode 6. All right, we got armor that was actually a sword that you wear. So now that we had two different swordsmen that weren't using traditional swords fighting each other, what is the next iteration that will be even crazier?
The fan, Rakugo.
Okay,
just
there you go.
create stories at each other.
I was gonna say like a thought sword or something like that, but yeah, I think I could actually see that one happening.
Yeah, I think that the way in which this story is kind of playing with our preconceived notions of what our wandering Ronin story has to be, the way it leans into that, the comedy, but keeps it spicy and fresh in different ways is rather fun. But I'm okay with every once in a while having it go more straightforward. So I would say that for now we're in that fun limbo state where this is the halfway point.
That's true.
But also we don't necessarily have to have some kind of halfway finale.
Nope.
But all that being said, his sister
is out there.
Out there.
Yep.
She is an element of the story that cannot be ignored.
That is very true.
Yeah, that's that. But yeah, more leaning into the goofy isms of our main two protagonists.
All the interactions.
Our strategian.
Yes.
Learning new ways in which to mess with her sword.
Yes, that's right. Well said.
So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, yeah, they were set wildly
This
off course.
is not what it looked like in the previous episode.
Yes, then volcanoes erupt, dramatically shifting the climate. Yep.
Right. Oh, her hair's just frozen back. She'll be his sword. He'll use her like a pole arm.
Yeah, you're certain about that? Oh! Nope, just no idea. No, it means someone that doesn't know about the word strategist.
Ah, yes. You're absolutely correct.
But then you'll be resistant to the cold.
Right.
She's clearly a master of evasive maneuvers.
Yeah. No, it's because that sword is there.
Hey, at least it's being acknowledged by everybody else as well. And that flirting better go somewhere, you cowards. Yes! Yes! Not know that I love you, but
yeah,
take my
proper
fucking
priorities.
catchphrase and let it
spread
last
to
for
the
all
far
eternity.
corners of the world.
But that's the only way it would catch on, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the meaning would be wrong.
You've taught him? Well, okay, actually.
God, with this music, too. Wow.
You trying to say something?
Oh. Oh. Oh no.
Oh shit.
Oh no. That's frostbite.
Yep. Oh nice. And then after she was telling him how she felt, now she'll have to save him and care for him.
Yeah.
This isn't a cuddle in a cave episode. This is a nurse back to health episode. I don't feel anything, in fact. I used to be cold, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, and because her hair is frozen, it actually...
I love that his cheek was actually getting redder in the spot where
oh, yeah.
she was hitting him.
But I love the little detail that because her hair is frozen, it is more resistant to wind, so it...
Oh!
Oh. I'm okay, but he's not.
Holy strength.
Okay, disaster
So
area
they are
indeed.
actually quite terrifying. There's still 12? Yeah.
I thought they were going to show like a bunch of heads just lying on the ground. All right.
Out of the investigator, yeah.
I love how the rest of them are confident, though, that the person is present, even if they...
Well,
regardless
not yet.
of whether they exist.
They haven't spoken yet.
Okay. Please tell me that they have the invisible one be the scout.
His Nimpo's so powerful, no one's ever seen it.
Yeah,
could tell the tale.
They'll never see our center. Oh, okay, they are actually there.
Maybe.
That only leaves 2, though. Oh. Did a certain Emoto wipe it off the map? She's thorough.
Oh my god, I just realized.
What?
If they're going there, it's the one time they'll actually be able to be spotted because of the snow, so it'll leave footprints and...
Yeah.
Okay, well there they are. Wow. There they are.
Yep.
Okay, so not actually invisible.
So
That would have been so funny, though, if it was just maintained that joke the whole way through. Oh.
I wouldn't have been surprised. Wait, 11?
I am modeled after ice cream.
Not 4? She's the wielder of the sword.
Are you wanting to die?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh shit! Ha! Oh my god!
Well,
This is the episode of Sudden just wiped out. Oh my gosh!
Nanami caused the avalanche.
Well, we're gonna have to dig for it. Wait, maybe this is why it's a disaster. They just lie. They're horrible.
Ah, yes. They lead people around in circles so they freeze to death.
Yep. Ah!
Okay. And wasn't it supposed to be a duel set?
It does not matter. Needs you to fight the mountain, Shichika.
Yep.
Then why did the avalanche be a problem then?
And why would they be dead if...
I think she's full of shit.
Why don't we just take Bikini Bottom and pull it over here?
I think she's full of shit. I just can't wait for the twist. Like, what's gonna be the catch? What's gonna be the joke?
If she loses it all.
No.
Maybe because of the previous episode?
He's learning.
No, emotionally.
Right.
Wait.
Yep. They had to fight someone through the avalanche back up the mountain.
Exactly.
That's actually a pretty good deduction there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, you can own up to it at
Yeah,
least.
she can.
Okay. Wakata. I love how his eyes are also kind of stretching away with the cheeks.
Yeah, then what? Right. We'll revisit this later. Wow.
This is great
This
communication.
is great communication. That was all he wanted to know. And
Oh
now
my
he just
God.
Immediately went to sleep. I mean, he literally physically broke his body trying to get over here. Oh. Whoa.
So he was really concerned.
Yeah,
He's like, nope, I don't want to. I'm just going to pretend to be asleep because I don't want to show any kind of response or anything.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Ah! Oh my God!
Wait.
Jesus! Can't even wield that thing.
Yep.
She threw it.
It almost looks like two blades that were like bended together and then.
Oh. Yep.
It has to be won in a trial of blood.
Ah, yeah.
And if they're that strong, then it makes even less sense that they'd get taken out by an avalanche.
Right. Unless the joke is that they're actually not resistant at all to the cold. That's why she wears all this stuff, you know?
He wasn't even there when the fight started.
Yeah. That's an amazing
love
little
it.
stipulation there.
I have to beat her because we need the sword, but she's the only one strong enough to carry it, so...
Cool. Oh, okay. So yeah, being buried in the snow is probably not an issue either, so...
She's so overly cute that I want her to be evil.
Any one of those hits is instant death.
Right. Turn him into paste.
Ah! That's how strong she is?
Okay. Catches this. Oh!
Oh my God.
Okay. But then the shout causes an avalanche. No.
I made this joke already. What?
Oh, okay. She takes Naname's body, 100%.
いずれにしても強権を失い気策士との同盟も破れるという最悪の結果だけは防がなければならないだなだからカワウソもしもの場合は
This is such a wild episode.
もういいって
Yeah.
じゃあシカお兄ちゃんが早く治るように美味しいウサギをいっぱい取ってきますからゆっくり休
I'll slaughter the rabbits of this countryside.
折れた刀に使い道などないわとか
粉雪が怪力だって知ってたのに子供だってことでどっか舐めてたんだろうなまあ俺に何の油断もなかったとしても粉雪に勝てたかどうかは分か
Yeah. This is what happened, you know?
ぶっちゃけああいうのが一番厄介なんだよ理屈や理論をすっ飛ばしてた
True.
I have a lot of practice with those.
約束破っちまったな刀を守れ咎めを守れそして俺自身を守れ
Oh,
俺自身を守れなかった
true.
あまり自分を責めるな
But I'm operating under your orders. Yeah. I can only do what you tell me to do.
それに今回は私の失策だそなたの
No, you're always the one who miscalculates.
そいつはどうも
私が思うに視覚云々というのはあの子の嘘だ
Mm.
なんでそんな嘘をつくんだ
寂しいのだよあの子は
Oh.
陽気に振る舞ってはいても人恋しい心境になっているに違いあるまい
So we take her with us?
俺たちを引き止めるためにそんな嘘を
That comment about becoming a mom?
Mm.
うちっちもう一人で狩りができるんだよ
Oh.
分かってるついちゃいけないって
Oh. Oh.
みんながいなくてうちっち
Oh. There's no trick. No, it's just
Yep.
human emotion of just like I'm gonna survive beyond them, even though I was the weakest and everything. I'm so strong. Ugh.
この雪大丈夫か
Well, rip the dog. Holy shit.
この女名乗ってはいなかったか
Yep.
確か名前に
Well, shit, we had an alliance with them. Or truce.
登場していきなりやられるってのは白鷺あたりを思い出すな
気さくしちゃう私の仲間を随分と派手に
Strategian Chan.
あんたのせいでマニュア人軍はめちゃくちゃよあんたたちをこの手であの世に送ってやる
威勢がいいのは結構だがその様子では私を殺すというのは無理そうだな
Well, shit.
強権発動
Okay. And now
I
will you
shall
kill
never
her?
be alone.
Yep. Oh,
なんだあれ
Damn.
Well, you can't even, like, just try and get her to leave the body then, because she'd still die.
力が全身にみなぎってる今まで乗り換えてきたどの体よりもすごいわ
Well,
As serious as this situation is, I can't help but laugh at the visuals.
yep.
咎め一応確認しておくけど
I can kill that now.
シチカ殺せるか
確かにこの左腕じゃ
yeah.
Just a bit.
イテザラの村へ行って大人の女に乗り換えればもっとすごいかもしれないあれ
Yeah.
デトロイツ族って全滅しちゃって
Whose memories are
Oh,
these?
oh, okay. There might be some consciousness in there then.
Yeah.
Oh,
何があったっていうの
Oh no.
yeah. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a blizzard.
この動きもしかして
いいこと教えてあげようか巨頭竜ちゃん私は記憶を乗っ取れるだけじゃない記憶を引き継げるのよあんたが何年修行してきたか知らないけど私にはその何千倍もの経験がある
巨頭竜梅
Oh,
Oh.
どういうことだシチカ
なんでかわからないけどこいつが粉雪に乗り移った途端
Yeah. 'Cause she now has she has actual form.
ah, right.
Huh.
Which means she's predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not chaos.
私の刀相手に人質が通じるなどと思うなよ
Hell yeah.
All right.
は障子が南だ
That is amazing!
Yes. Yes.
Come at me, bitch, yeah.
Yep.
And there's his catchphrase.
Love it.
Whoa.
Okay.
Shit! Both hands! No way. Is she gonna get shunted out of the body?
Maybe.
Yeah, he like...
Yeah, because was that the technique from the previous episode where he struck things that, you know, like without actually touching them, you know?
Oh! That's cool. He rejected an order in a very creative and clever way. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yep.
Exactly.
マニワ人軍12頭領が1人、マニワ法王。今回のことは狂犬の独断専行。決してマニワ人軍の総意であると思わない。
Right, given our truce that we set up, yeah.
同盟はすでに破綻しておる。
そう言うな。今回のことは我の不徳の致すところだ。どうか責任を取らせてはもらえないだろう。あんた俺の忍法を知ってるよな。マニワ忍法記録たどりよ。
Court tracer.
狂犬が粉雪の記憶を探っていたであろう。カワウソはそれを生命ならぬ物体に。
Oh. Oh, cool. So we can do it with the sword.
Or maybe body.
だからこうするしかないのだ。
To kill him. Wow.
これならばお主にとって我らはさほど恐るべき敵と
Yeah.
は言えない。
Okay.
All of,
細かな同盟規約違反など優しく見逃す。
now, obviously, there's the young girl that he said was very important.
忍びは生きて死ぬだけだ。
These guys are so silly most of the time, and yet they have moments like this where it's like crazy serious.
Yeah, you're freaking me out. Get out of here. Nice, passing along this info. Yeah.
I wonder who.
嘘ついてごめんなさいでした。もうよい。それより頼んだぞ。そなたにしかできぬことだ。任せて。
She steps onto the boat, the boat just sinks. Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice.
All right.
She's pushing up the sword hard enough that it's not pushing down against the...
Exactly. That's how it works. Yes.
That's exactly how physics work.
Right.
It would be funny if she starts spinning it and the boat just starts propelling itself forward.
Towing the big boats behind it.
Right, right. Oh. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
あれは粉雪が素人であるがゆえにたまたま入ってしまっただけの一撃だ。気に病むことはない。まあどうしても粉雪と決着をつけたいというのならば、刀集めの旅を終えてからのことにして。
Yeah, I wouldn't want to,
But what is happening after our sword collection journey?
Mm-hmm.
アゼクラカナライテゾラ粉雪と所有者を殺さない勝ち方を2度続けて経験した七川。その対決において姉殺しを経験するのでございます。
Wow, spoilers, narrator!
What the fuck?
今月今宵の刀お楽しみ。
Although, to
Oh
be
my
fair,
God.
we can't necessarily trust the
No.
narrator.
We can't. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Yeah, what's this?
nice.
Oh, that is cute. Okay.
They became
Oh, and a
snowmen.
unique ED with their little things behind the... All right,
Okay.
we had ourselves another debate here, but
Yeah.
in the wholesome direction.
Right.
Because, oh, the little girl here is the sole survivor of the horrific natural disaster village of super strong,
Yep.
abominable snowmen folks.
That died in an
Died in an
avalanche.
avalanche, which is that's just got to be
Right.
total bleak comedy right there.
Like yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It could be actually what happened. The figure that was shown could totally have been her. You know, probably was her. We don't really have anything to suspect otherwise, other than how silly it all seems.
I think it's entirely her, and it's Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, okay. All right. But we end up, as a result of this, meeting this girl, and just all the things that have been happening in general, they have some really good conversations with each other about their relationship, how, like, what each, they mean to each other and everything. And I really appreciate that because, especially coming off of the previous episode where we got into the whole jealousy angle and stuff, it makes sense that this stuff would happen. So, thank you. But yeah.
I think this episode really kind of poked at the whole, we're going to do a half, story halfway finale here, but instead had it be in this really tender moment where Togame kind of shows her vulnerability of like, I don't really know exactly what I want to do when this is all over. I have thought about it, and I know, at least based on the way I said, that I think real happiness would come from me settling down with you, basically. But whether it's with you or whether it's with, just settling down, basically, and raising a family. But given how nervous she is around this and how little she's actually divulging, even in her vulnerability here, the fact that we saw him be actually awake through all that and thus having heard all of it.
And yet he didn't feel comfortable
revealing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
that shows that there's an element of him keeping secrets that goes beyond just the, well, you haven't asked about that specific thing, so I haven't told you about it.
Right.
But it's based on the lack of humanity that I had before, every bit of humanity that I am shown in this journey informs who I will be by the end of the story. And that includes the humanity that you show him, Togame.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot about this feeling like it's the element of him being the child that is learning from mother, basically.
Well, yeah, learning, but then also because of that, the things that he does, we have better context for why he would do things that, for other characters in these types of situations, I would find rather frustrating. So, like, with Togame, she is very upfront with the fact that she isn't sure about this, right? And I really appreciate that because oftentimes what you'll end up having, what I'll see in stories where you have a romance plot or subplot, but one of the characters isn't entirely sure, because that totally makes sense. In love, things can get all kinds of, just crazy and chaotic, and you have to sort out your own feelings. But hey, here, she is actually processing them with, her person, right? And so they get to talk about it. But for him, because of his specific upbringing and background and his whole situation, he is not actually equipped to be able to deal with these things. Nope. So when he does the stuff that basically stretches out the conflict with regards to the romance that theoretically, he could talk about here. No, it really wouldn't make sense for him to do that. So, and the very things that he does that shows that he is uncomfortable with it and is avoiding it is actually showcasing progress, because that means he is actually feeling things and aware that he's feeling things, right? As opposed to how he was at the beginning, where he just didn't really.
Or we didn't even have a grid for understanding what he's experiencing. A lot of the things that make him interesting is that he is a character that has been isolated from the world to the point where he's speaking a different language basically by his own existence. Like, he doesn't have anyone that we can play off of, even with Nanami, given how psychopathic we've found her to be. But by the example of drawing the connection to him being a sword, we can then use that to show that it's what happens when the sword becomes human? Well, it starts to develop a personality. It starts to develop insecurities, fears, goals, desires, all these things that we very clearly saw a lack of in the beginning of the story. And as we've gone on and on, we've seen those, attributes of what does it mean to be a person or a human get attached to him. He now has a catchphrase. He now has someone he loves. He now has a simple desire to follow every single order that she gives. But what do you know? This episode, we start to see all the contradictions start to come up, which is also a thing that makes a person a person. He doesn't follow her orders. He does actually the exact opposite of that, because he thinks ahead and remembers that there was we still need the sword to get to where it needs to go. In order to do that, we need to not kill her. We need to make it so that she wants to help us. But in order to do that, I can't have her
be possessed.
So I have
to
I'll use
a
technique that will do that by attacking just the tattoo.
right.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Yes, why not? Then the angle of, they're in bed together. They're having this sweet little, like, wholesome, quiet, intimate moment. She starts to reveal some things that she's also really kind of holding back a little bit on with regards to that. She's saying she doesn't know, but I think that she took this long to bring that kind of stuff up because she doesn't feel comfortable sharing this in its entirety. It was something that she brought up only after all this time, and now she brings it up because it's hey, I'm getting probed on the question here, but I think that there's a little fun thing read between the lines in here that I brought up, was that when someone basically says, well, I'm not doing this, just so you know, that's something that I think people bring up because it's the kind of thing that it appears to be.
Right. Their mind has acknowledged that is the immediate, or acknowledged or assumed that is the thing that they think the other person is interpreting it as. And so they're addressing it. But if that's the thing that they choose to assume it to be rather than something else, that shows their own perspectives on things.
It shows their own perspective on things, but it also shows that they believed that was something on some level that they were doing. Even that's not the entire intent. That is something that was objectively happening on some level. The idea of it, like you're saying, by basically focusing on one thing as opposed to others, that's inferred.
Yeah. And I think, and probably going a bit into, detail, or not details, splitting hairs, of whether it's something where she thinks she actually was doing it, she thinks she was potentially close to doing that, or whatever. That's where her mind is at when it comes to their whole relationship and what do we have after.
Yeah. One of the things I also think that's really cool here is that we get reminded constantly that Togame is not stupid. She is a strategian, however you want to put it there. She does have moments of kind of clumsiness and awkwardness, but she does think about a lot of things. And the idea that she thinks that he would be able to understand the subtlety of what it means to play innocent, I think shows that she's being extremely okay, I'm going to dig something real up without thinking about how he's going to interpret it. I'm going to just kind of go, hey, this is okay, right? I'm going to show a bit of who I am, like a bit of that vulnerability there. I don't think based on where he's at as a person or as a sword, whichever you want to go with that there, I don't think he even would know what it means to play innocent in that regard.
Probably not. And correct me if I'm wrong. Are you saying, I don't think you're saying that she intentionally said playing innocent because she knew that he wouldn't understand it.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying that she wasn't thinking about whether or not he'd be able to interpret it, showing how raw and unfiltered it was for her to say that. Meaning that it's I think that leans it even more into she was at a point in the story before playing innocent, and now she's being honest and being like, I'm not doing that. Not necessarily saying that I'm not doing that anymore, because again, I'm assuming a bit based on little bits of things that I believe to be cues that she was doing that.
I believe it is very important that you specifically know that I'm not playing innocent.
Exactly. Yeah. That's important to me. So I find that to be a really big step of progress for her as well. And that's why I see it as, I think, for the two of them, even if they have the crossing hairs of not understanding what was communicated or received.
Yeah, because this episode definitely was framed a lot more as the Shichika growth episode.
Yes.
But there was still a lot of growth that was happening with Togame.
Yes. And also, that's kind of the main point of what I was trying to bring up. But
not necessarily a point of growth necessarily, but I absolutely adored this as a joke. The fact that she was like, oh, you can possess a body? Okay, well, first of all, if she takes my body, kill me without hesitation. Okay,
absolutely.
Will do. Yeah, but also, if you think you want to take my body, you have another thing coming. I
would lose a fight against a rabbit.
Right. Exactly. I could die just by falling over, Like it's the most like unconventional flex that you would ever, ever think, but it absolutely makes sense for this story. Coming from this author, it absolutely makes sense, and it's just hilarious to top it all off, especially because this is the situation where you have the 11-year-old that looks like a 4 or 5-year-old.
Right.
That's the I'm freakishly strong and I can lift the sword that even our main character Mikimbo can't lift.
Can I bring up a fun parallel here of something with regards to the wielding of the sword? Did you realize that the story framed the idea of an unwieldable sword against the idea that at this point he is now no longer being wielded by her?
Because he's his own person and everything.
He's becoming his own person. That was a cool little parallel there.
Yeah.
It's not that he's too heavy now, but he's now become too complex to be even just called a sword anymore.
And I will say, assuming that the narrator is not lying to us,
yes,
if we get the confrontation with his sister in the next episode, regardless of whether or not she dies, but even more so if he does end up killing her, that does make it kind of feel like the perfect time to run into her, even though I myself am kind of hoping that she's like final antagonist material because she seems the most important from a character angle from all of the antagonistic potential figures that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But
because obviously the final conflict will be about their relationship and where that goes.
But as far as the final external conflict, before we deal with that conflict, I would love for it to be the sister. If it doesn't end up being that, that's totally cool. And especially after an episode like this with all of the ways that we've seen him start to grow and, become his own person separate from her, but then also, by extension, if he's becoming his own person separate from her, how much more so when Nanami shows up will she realize, oh, my brother is entirely
different person.
Yeah, you're a completely different person.
Yeah.
And they can maybe talk about that before they kill each other.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and try and figure out a way that we can kill the sister without actually physically killing her. And it could be
same
the
thing
idea,
with the tattoo kind of a deal.
Yeah, exactly. It could be the same kind of thing where her role in his life as his sister is irrevocably severed.
Sure.
And it's the idea of, oh, cool, you've changed so much that you're no longer my brother. Oh, okay, cool. So then I am no longer your sister.
Maybe.
And that can end there.
I was going to say maybe it's that she's already dead because if she picks up a sword, then she's no longer part of the clan that doesn't touch swords. So that's how she's not his sister. But the narrator did specifically say that he would get the feeling for killing his sister. So that doesn't necessarily work.
Right. It could also be that there's some level of this where she kind of wants him, like because of the fact that he killed his father. Right. She could feel that little bit of like resentment towards him for that.
But she already probably resents him plenty just for the decision that their father made to make him the heir instead of her.
Right, but if he's a different person to the point where she doesn't even have the capacity of feeling the desire for vengeance.
So maybe that's how he actually defeats her?
Right.
It's the thing of the, well, death in Puss in Boots kind of a deal, not to spoil a very good movie. But yeah,
Very good movie.
yeah. Basically, well, I already spoiled it by saying that. But yeah. If you haven't seen Puss in Boots 2,
all right, let's move on
check
from
it out.
that. But yes, the point you're trying to bring up
is that because she no longer has the will to fight him, that is how he ends up defeating her when everything with how she's been set up is that she would be unbeatable. So the fact that the narrator says that he gets a taste for killing his sister, if that is actually what happens, then, what is the way in which that is actually made possible?
The thing that I could also see them going for here is that this is the taste of what it's like to become human and start to stretch out your wings and be free, but the world comes at you and deals you a bad hand that forces you to address your external reality in a way that violates some aspect of who you are. And then it's the pain associated after that will need to have the two of them kind of help each other go back, and innocence is lost, basically.
I mean, I'm not sure I entirely follow, but the vibe that I get from listening to it, I like.
Basically, the idea is that he's coming closer and closer to being his own full human, right? Mm-hmm. Sister comes in and knocks him off course for a bit.
Okay.
The next arc of the story is about Togame kind of helping try to bridge that gap back from a loss of innocence through her own experiences with that for the person that basically that needs it the most. I think that's a bit of a loose kind of prediction here, but I'm trying to think of a way of, if they do have the sister end up getting killed in the next episode, what's the primary central internal conflict of their relationship and how does that change. And I'm like, oh, well, the thing that would be is now she's scared of her own sword. She's having to reel with or deal with the fact that her sword is doing these things that rather than looking on with kind of a bit of pride of like, oh, look at my sword growing up and all strong. It's oh God, look at what my sword did.
I need to collect all the deviant swords, and now her sword has become one of the deviant swords, kind of a deal.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean that. I feel like that could happen, and that would feel rather apropos for what they've talked about with the poison of the swords and things like that. And if he has a sword, then maybe he himself gets poisoned or whatever, or she gets poisoned or something like that.
The cycle of violence and
I feel like that stuff isn't necessarily what's been established so far in the show, though. Even though I feel like the show could make it work. But
Nanami doesn't fit in the show either from that point either. So
no,
that's kind of why she does need to get knocked out of the story. Like, maybe not necessarily in the next episode, but again, narrator be spoiling things. So
narrator be spoiling. I guess the part of it that feels odd is that Nanami's introduction proper to the show was rather late in the show, episode 4, right? Yes. So to then have something where shortly thereafter, she is then removed from the story when she doesn't leave her little quarter of the story. That feels odd given how big of a deal her introduction was.
Right. So we'll have to see basically whether this story is trying to bookend the awakening of our sword's humanity or something else with regards to their relationship.
Yeah.
And the end. But again, that's more predictions for the end of the series.
Right.
And stuff,
and very end as opposed to the, 5-episode chunk between then where they have to deal with getting the rest of the swords. Because we've pretty firmly established by now that it's not actually about the getting of the swords. It's about all the other stuff surrounding it. And so then they'd need to come up with some other big thing that would be the focus. Maybe it would deal with Togame's personal past and stuff, and then Shichika's would basically be done with his sister. But
there is an inheritance theme in this story that has been only lightly touched upon with Togame, and I feel like the story has yet to pun intended, kind of stab its way into the narrative in any kind of strong way. With
I thought you were going to say deviate from that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
That's a halfway point.
Yep.
That is a very specific little bit of drama that they can also kind of let bloom in the background for these two as well.
So could you say then that the lesson from this episode is that Togame realized that Shichika is, despite the environment, not as cold as she thought?
It's okay. It never bothered him anyway.
Yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.